best piece of advice I got in terms of makeup was by a mentor of mine called Kay Montano, who's this unbelievably gorgeous and really brilliant makeup artist. And she taught me to be very specific about where I apply foundation, which sounds really simple, but there's a lot of sort of autopilot makeup that happens where you're just going through the motions and you're not really looking at whether that piece of skin needs to be covered, or that freckle needs to be covered or whatever. You're just sort of slapping it on. And what Kay did was she taught me to take a step back and to be like, okay, which bit of the face needs brightening or lifting or correcting or covering? And I think that's been really useful in my career, because I think it sets yourself apart. I think it sets you apart as a makeup artist. It's really difficult to describe my mum in a word or a sentence, because she's multifaceted. She's got the greenest fingers out of anyone I've ever met. Like her garden, she can rescue any plant. She's got bird nests in the bottom of her garden with in the spring, this sort of family of birds all come to nest in her garden every spring. And she makes pottery and she can cook, and she's clever and gorgeous, and everyone's jealous of me having a mum like her. So she's wonderful, basically. You can't do it all. And I don't mean in terms of working and having a family and all of that. I think you can do all of that. And it's very old-fashioned to pick one or the other. But I think in terms of having a very rich social life and being at everything, in order for me to really further my career, I know that I have to be 150% focused and dedicated. And that does just come along with letting people down sometimes, which is heartbreaking, because I hate it. I want to be able to be at every birthday, every wedding, every party, every gig, every show opening, anything that has to do with supporting the people that I love. I've definitely decided to be one of those makeup artists that doesn't wear lots of makeup. So the woman who taught me, Louise Konstad, she always said, if you're going to wear makeup as a makeup artist, make sure it's absolutely perfect. If you're going to wear a big winged eyeliner, make sure it's the best, sharpest wing eyeliner you'd ever seen. Because when you're up close to someone like that, all they're going to be thinking is, oh, okay. Either they'll be like, oh, brilliant, I hope you can do that on me. Or they'll be like, that's how they do their face. How are they going to do mine? So I think I definitely don't have the patience and dedication to put lots of makeup on myself. So I think that's why I don't really wear much. So that's why, rounding it off, my skin is very important, because I don't wear makeup. And so if I didn't have good skin, I'd have to wear this makeup. In my late 20s, I started thinking about it properly, and now it's really, really, really important to me. And it sort of consists of 3 or 4 steps. It's not extensive, but again, it just comes back to this self-care and self-love thing, which is just, I'm doing the bit I need to do to make sure that I'm looking after myself. That I made people look and feel just gorgeous. I think as a makeup artist, especially nowadays, you have to sort of separate yourself from others and have a thing that you do. And I've always struggled with that, because I'm very artistic, and I'm drawn to colour and textures and things. But I think as a makeup artist, I'm pretty straightforward. I think I do just try anyway to make people look really gorgeous. And I'd love to be remembered as someone that just always made people feel and look really pretty. The one piece of advice I would share is from a documentary called The Defiant Ones, which is on Netflix, which is about Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre. Have you watched it? It's basically about how Dr. Dre had his career and Jimmy Iovine, who is a music producer, had his career. And together they sort of came together and they created Beats by Dre and various other things that they then sold to Apple for like $1 billion or something. Anyway, there's this bit in it where Jimmy Iovine talks about his success, and he says that when a horse is racing, like a racehorse, they put blinders on so that they're not looking at what the other horses are doing, they're just focusing on like what's there. And I think in this day and age, with all of us just comparing each other and feeling rubbish as a result of it, I would pass that piece of advice on. And I do quite a lot. And I have to remind myself as well that it's so much better if you just keep the blinders on and are just focused and aware of what you're doing. I listened to Dua Lipa's song with Mark Ronson or someone, and it's called Electricity, and there's this fabulous video that I'm obsessed with, and I played to everyone, and everyone was like, it's really not the best video I've ever seen, but for some reason it really got me going. And it's her dancing in this apartment in New York, and she's in this really sexy little outfit, and that really pumped me up. I don't know why, but that Electricity by Dua Lipa.